I was asked to make a video on travel and to share my tips for staying compliant with this low-fat vegan diet while traveling. And I just want to be completely upfront off the bat and say that I struggle with this 100%, and I've just made peace with the fact that it's always going to be difficult because my home is the only environment that I can control. I can control what's in my fridge, freezer, and pantry. And once I leave this environment, I'm out of control. I'm at restaurants that don't have all of the things that I would require to make my most satiating, filling, healthy, delicious meal. I, have to kind of pick and choose based off of what they have on their menu. And it can get difficult just sitting there having all these temptations if you're sitting at a table with other people ordering your favorite tasty treats and having to say no to them time and time again. If you're going away for a month, for example, you might find that it's easy the first few days, but eventually just having to constantly say, no, I'm going to choose the apple, not the bag of chips. No, thank you. I'm not going to choose, that vegan ice cream. I'm going to have fruit instead. Like eventually you will find yourself just thinking like, oh, you know what? Let me just have that. And then you end up indulging. So be very kind and gentle with yourself and understand that this is a difficult problem for most of us and you're not alone. But there are some tips and tricks that I can share with you, and I'm going to do that in this video. So hopefully they're helpful. One, I would say if you can be as compliant as you can at home, then if you're going away for, say, a week trip somewhere and you don't do a 100% perfect job and you do indulge in some vegan treats, really it's not the end of the world if when you come back, you just dive right back into your healthy way of eating. At least that's how I see it. And that's kind of what I usually do. So if I go out and I'm gone for a week somewhere and I'm at a few restaurants and I have a treat here or there, I know that when I get home, there's no treats waiting for me. I'm not going to the grocery store and going out and buying vegan ice creams and vegan cookies. I am getting right back into my sweet potatoes, beans, and broccoli simple dishes. And so I kind of just let it be what it'll be. But I know it's more difficult if, say, you have a job where you're going away every other week, staying at hotels. And I'm just going to say that is going to be challenging. So, you really, really are going to have to exert some form of willpower or just be super strict with yourself. And I know that's not a fun answer, but it's going to be challenging. Something that you can do if you're staying at Airbnbs is you can actually bring your own rice cooker with you. I know that sounds crazy, but my rice cooker is quite tiny and I have traveled with it before. So I can make my I can make my oatmeal, my lentils, and my rice with just my rice cooker. And that's, a good chunk of what I eat and base my meals around. So that's very helpful. You could bring a little blender with you, like the little NutriBullet, to make some smoothies or to make some bean dips. And it's challenging. So those are two things. I know some people actually travel with their Instant Pot and make soups and things like that, which you absolutely could do. When you're dining out, if you have the option to choose a sushi restaurant, they usually don't put oil in their rice, so you can order a bowl of rice, some edamame, some veggie rolls, and that can be helpful as well. And the other thing I would say is, if say you're traveling, usually you'll have your breakfast at home and then you're going out for the day. So make sure that your breakfast, the meals that you can control, make those as filling and as starch-filled and satiating as you can. So say you're going for a week vacation in Rome and, every morning you're at your Airbnb and you're having your breakfast there, and then you go out and have your lunch and dinner at restaurants. At least you started your day in a healthful way that is on plan. So just make as many meals as you can a healthy choice. And for the rest of them, if you go off course a little bit, try not to beat yourself up too much over it. I'd love to just give you a plan and say, this is going to work 100% of the time, and, just be really militant about it and give you 100% guarantees. But there are no guarantees with this, and I'm just trying to be as real as possible. And if you've ever traveled while trying to eat this way, you will 100% know what I'm talking about. Another tip is to load up on fruit. So maybe you normally stick with the veggies and the beans and the rice. But it's not as easy to prepare those things when you're on the go. Like, you're not just gonna open up a can, like whip out a can opener out of your purse and open up a can of beans and start eating that. But you can, grab a banana out of your bag, grab an apple out of your bag. And so having those fruits handy, traveling with you, bring yourself a bag, go to any grocery store and grab a big bag of cherries, a big bag of grapes. Don't worry about a lot of people are worried about the too much sugar in fruit. Look, it's way better to choose that as an option and fill up on healthy, fresh fruit than it is to go for a big box of donuts or something like that. So the more you can fill yourself up on these whole natural fruits, the less likely you are going to be to overindulge in the treats. So just do your best. Just constantly be asking yourself, where can I find the starch? How can I get some starch in me right now? Whether it's a bowl of rice, or even fast food restaurants have, a plain baked potatoes. I know Wendy's has that. I used to do that as like a little trick. If I was somewhere and I couldn't get anything else, I'd get 2 Wendy's baked potatoes and don't put anything on it, or you can drizzle a little bit of ketchup. And it's filling if you're in a bind and you're away from your home. So maybe have a little notebook where you write down all these little tips and tricks so that when you're out and you're away, you kind of refer to it and you say, okay, this is what I'm going to try this time. And just continue to experiment. If you feel like you went way off the rails, then just remember, when I get home, I'm going to make sure my environment is extra clean and has none of that junk in it, so I can just dive right back into my healthy way of eating. I hope this was helpful, and what would be helpful for me is if you have any tips for traveling and staying on track, please put them in the comment section so that you can help each other out, and you're probably going to teach me a thing or two as well. So have a great day, and thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.